message you're about to hear in this video is for comedic purposes only. I do not mean to offend anyone, and if you are offended by the video, I apologize, but I'm sorry not sorry. It's a lot that you can go through that will demotivate you. Like, I swear there's so much shit that's gonna happen in life that's gonna make you want to give up and make you feel like it's not meant for you to do it. But at the end of the day, bro, you gotta fight. Like, gotta fight on some never back down shit. Like, you gotta fight on some Vonclad damn shit. Vonclad quad whatever the fuck that guy's name is, bro. Just lock in, bro. Fight. Really, sometimes I really just gotta like lock into a corner and just throw some blows, a shadow box. You know what I mean? Shout out Skywater. I respect motherfuckers like you that are confident and open in their expression and shit like that. You know what I mean? That's cool. That shit makes me feel better about being weird, about being different. I guess not being weird or being different. I'm not weird, especially in today's, like, in this day and age, where like being weird and different is a niche. Like, you can put me in a room full of people that are considered outliers and I'll still be an outlier within that room. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's because I distance myself from people forcefully, because I don't think that I'm one of one. I think that if you put me in enough of those rooms, eventually I'll end up in a corner with somebody else, but that's neither here nor there. You know how I be with the random rants, bro. I'll be bullshitting. Today though, we're gonna do a quick story time about my first acid trip. Ugh, I swear, man, it takes a lot of effort for me to do these videos. I really appreciate everyone who takes time out of their days to actually listen to my stories, because I'm not used to talking. I'm very articulate. Like, I can word myself very well. I'm a smart dude, but thinking things and like creating things are so much easier than talking for me sometimes, especially on camera. And I don't know why, because like in my head, I picture myself being so, you know, camera ready and all that, but it's a process for me. We're working through it. Thank you all for fucking with me on this process as I grow and get better at what I do. I fuck with y'all boys. Love y'all. Today we're gonna talk about my first time doing acid. Within my friend group, there was a guy, we're gonna call him Gonza. Now Gonza, amongst my friend group at the time, was already kind of known for experimenting with psychs. Him and Kirito were like a set of twins within the group at the set time, and they had done shrooms together and tripped countless times. Everyone was under the impression that like through shrooms and acid we could somehow become better people. Like, black story less black. I was with my first ever girlfriend at the time, right out of high school, and I didn't have a car for that summer. Her parents were like military, so she had a cool little Jeep or something like that. She pulled up outside my first job at this summer camp and watched me on the playground as I spent, you know, like the last few minutes of my shift outside with the kids I watched back then. Assuming that this was one day after work, or maybe an average off day with the bros, like as a gang, we came with the brilliant plan that we was going to trip out on acid at Gaunt's crib. And she was my trip sitter. She was my ride and my trip sitter because I didn't have a car. Now, of course, I spent the most part of my early drug experimenting afraid to dive into psychs because of the fear of like not being in full control. And I grew up watching that bald white guy on YouTube, the dude who would talk about like acid, like scary acid trips or like psych horror stories. It made me nervous, but I was finally in like what I'd say was a good place in life. I had a girlfriend, I had a job, I was making a little bit of money, or what I thought was a little bit of money at the time. My girlfriend had a car, so of course, you know, I could go everywhere I wanted, and she was really cool about it, so that was a plus. And this was my first time really having a solid friend group, you know, like middle school and elementary school, I was just like the funny kid, the nerd who was around the cool kids, but outside of school, I was always in my room watching TV or movies and playing the game. Like, I never really talked to people outside of school or hung out with people outside of school. So this is my first time really having a friend group, like a solid friend group that I could hang out with. Now, although Gonza wasn't my direct friend, we'd had mutual friends for some time now, so I felt comfortable tripping there, and I was gonna be tripping there with some of my direct friends and my girl, of course. So it was like, I felt like it was gonna be a cool little scene. It was gonna be a vibe. I wasn't gonna freak out. Us being us, there wasn't much preparation. If you're from Atlanta, you know how them days used to go. So when we get to Gonza's crib, I don't know exactly where we're gonna trip or like how the day is gonna go, but this wasn't his first rodeo, so I entrusted that he was gonna be a courteous host. You know, when I got there, that's when I met Gonta and Kirito, and we proceeded to the bro quarters to chow down on some jail tabs. Of course, our bro Saddam was supposed to be there. We're gonna call him Saddam, so we had to wait a little bit for Saddam to get there. And when he gets there, he's a nature boy. He wanted to partake, so we embraced his vibe. You know what I mean? Skibbity boom bam. Gonta unveils the acid. It's in like this foil. It's in like this crushed up foil that's been uncrushed, and it's like still folded up. We all take ours, you know, we all take our portions. This was my first time taking acid, so I didn't know how to consume. So we looking at Gonta, we waiting for him to break down the consumption process. He's breaking it down, you know what I mean? You throw it on your tongue. 5 minutes later, you swallow it. By the time he says that out, it's already on my tongue. Throw that bitch on there. 15, 25 minutes later, this is when Black Ops 3 had first came out. If you is an OG COD player and you remember the split screen days like MW2, after a championship basketball game, you go to the kid who has the most money's house and he has MW2 and the whole team's there, and you have a summer party and you're split screening all night and 1v1ing on Rust. Like, those were them days. But this was still when split screen was a thing, so we were split screening on Black Ops 3, playing each other, just waiting for the acid to kick in. And I say like 25 minutes passed by, and like everybody else started to feel the acid. Like I could see fucking extended grins and hollow lips. What you talking about? Like everybody was smiling ear to ear, happy as hell. But I personally wasn't feeling my acid yet. I wasn't sure if like I had got a placebo, because I had dealt with placebos before. Like I took Molly and got a placebo. So I was like, is this a placebo? Is this fake? But at the same time, I was like, maybe I did kind of luck out, because imagine if I took this and I was here freaking out. So I was like, I kind of did luck out. At some point, I decided, or I felt like I had to pee. So I went to go pee, and I brought Gonta's cat with me because Gonta had a cat. When I went to go piss is when it really kicked in, I'd say. I was peeing, and like at first, I was about to pee on the seat, and I went to pick up the seat, but I was using my foot. And it was just like when I picked up my foot, I could just tell something was off. And I did the one thing that I had saw in a video that you're not supposed to do, which is go and stare at your reflection on acid. Because like I heard that if you do that, you're going to see like a whole bunch of different faces and you're going to spaz out, forget who you are. I was tripping fucking balls. So I went and I did that for a little bit. Nothing happened. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm high. I know I'm high. I'm on acid now. I leave the bathroom. When I leave the bathroom, Gonta had a window in his room that led onto his roof. Like he had some fire shit. All the bros were out on the roof. They were like vibing out there, high on acid. I go out there. Now we're just, just broing out. And Gonta had this tree in the back of his yard that was like encased in vines all the way up. Like the vines looked like veins, almost like blood vessels. And I remember looking at the tree and like feeling like it was alive. And if you ever seen True Blood, it looked kind of like a tree from True Blood, like the fairies used to come out of. I was thinking like a fairy was gonna come out of it. I was just in full swing trip mode. Time really began to condense, and like that's when like me going inside and playing Black Ops and going back outside and being with the bros really started to feel like a matter of seconds, but it was hours. Because you know how like when you be on that shit, that shit lasts like 7 hours. That happened for a little bit. It's kind of that 4K HDR filter that comes over your vision. It's just a vibe. Everything feels good. You kind of feel like all your problems can be solved within that time frame. You start to come to epiphanies, concepts and shit that you struggled with, and principles that you felt like you opposed or got in your way before. You just seem like they're beneath you now, and like everything is beneath you. And it's like, damn, like if I felt like this all the time, I could get so much done. You know what I mean? But I'd say that the most memorable part of that whole trip was Gonta disappeared for X amount of time. And out of nowhere, I'm on the roof and I just hear a vibration behind me. I turn around and Gonta, he's wearing these jean capris, a Coogie sweater, and some Birkenstocks. And he just yells, "Chanclas!" And I turned around and I had on some sandals too. And I was like, "Chanclas!" And that became a moniker between us for a long time after that. Anytime we'd see each other and we'd have on sandals, we'd be like, "Chanclas." And after that, the day began to, of course, slow down. The vibe was still there, but the peak of the trip had already hit. So now we had rolled down from the cusp and we were back in the room having a smoke sesh for the ages, just vibing. Auras on plus 300 in the room. And eventually, you know, me and my girl decided it's time to go. My girl at the time had some really cool parents. I used to like spend the night at her house hella, so I don't know if I went back to her house or she dropped me home. You already know, like, off them tabs, like, that's dagger dick. That's straight dagger dick. So if I went back to her crib that day, Lord know I splashed that, but I don't know. I might have just went back home after that. She might have just brought me back home and I just slept it off and woke up the next day and started like chasing my dreams and my goals. Like, and you know, like them 3 days post trip, them 3 post trip days, you be the most productive you've been in years. You be feeling like you finna be a multi-millionaire. You be writing, you be taking audio notes, you be looking at yourself in the mirror, you be telling yourself, damn, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, yeah, all that shit. But that was a vibe for those next 3 days, you know what I mean, rolling off that acid. And then, you know, after that it just gets back to normal and you feel like I gotta do it again. But no trip ever can really peak that sense of distortion that I had on reality when I took acid that time. But of course, after taking acid that first time, you still kind of get that climb towards ego death, but you don't get that same like reality distortion that you do when you first take acid. Same with any drug that you take the first time. To summarize the story though, I do want to say, long live my boy. We wasn't perfect people. We made mistakes. We could have been considered damaged even. She was a good friend, a great brother, and shit like that is far and few between these days, or few and far between these days. My bad. So rest easy, blood. My brother, rest easy, blood. Love you, gang. Do this shit for you. And we gonna put on. Everybody that's watching this video right now, man, if you having a difficult day or a hard day, my advice towards you or to you would be to try to work towards something or make progress towards something. Like, that's what's been helping me as of late with my depression and the other shit that I struggle with, is just working towards anything, just being productive in my own right. You know, making these videos is something that is kind of a stress release for me and helps me remember things that I forgot. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for being part of this journey with me, tapping in. Like, share, subscribe, more shit coming soon. A whole bevy of different content. This isn't all I'm gonna do, but I do want to chop it up with y'all boys a little bit and let y'all get to know me. And you feel me? See who y'all fucking with type shit. I appreciate y'all. It's love. Y'all boys have a good day.
Yeah, confirm the kill. It's a hard knock life that I really live. I'ma start off by saying fuck how any nigga feel. I don't need no nigga for none, cause I know I'ma blow my steel. Yeah, come here like bitch be still. Better not step too close, bro gon' blow that shit, I'm telling you will. And get busy on the wheel, better get busy, life is real. Is you with me, you minds for real? Let's go, let's deal. No, but hot shit, I'll